Well, I think the best way to say how much Craig has meant to this radio station is that anytime there was a question, there was always a two-word answer. Ask Craig.
Craig was a one-man show. Craig did the traffic for all of us, put all together the logs. He was the operations manager. He also was the music director, helped put the music together. Did on-air, of course, with the midday show. And he did play-by-play when we did high school basketball. I think he did some Thunder Road in there. So he pretty much wore a lot of different hats. Yeah.
You know, there'd be a traffic director, there'd be a copywriter, there'd be a production director, three separate people would maybe do that. Most radio stations check off Craig for all of those.
He drove in from Williston every day. I never saw Craig buy a pair of snow tires. He used all-season tires year-round, and it didn't matter if everybody was off the road on the 89. Craig always got there either 10 o'clock or 5 after, took his coat off and walked in the studio and said hello to everybody and did his air shift until 2. And then he would go to work writing copy, producing spots, answering the phone, solving everybody's problems.
Well, yeah, Craig and I go back 50 years, really well before the WLVB DEV days. We met, we went to Graham Junior College together from 1972 to 74. And as I mentioned, we both worked for the college radio station, WCSB. And at that time, we we were both into sports, and he and I did a play-by-play together. I'm not sure if he remembers that or not, but he did the play-by-play and I did the color. So, and then after that, we kind of parted ways. We went on to our different careers and then got reunited back at DEV in '92, and then of course on to WLVB.
Craig, day one. I mean, Roland and Craig were the announcers from day one when we signed on the air. So they've been here for the almost the full 30 years for Craig till he retired. But yeah, Roland, morning announcer, and Craig, midday announcer, probably back to back for one of the longest periods in radio that I can remember, having two guys start on day one and going all the way through on the same radio station.
I remember Ken Barlow, who made a comment about Craig when he found out he was in the Hall of Fame. He said, Craig is a quote-unquote radio guy, and if there is a definition for radio guy in the dictionary, Craig Ladd's picture would be right next to it.
I think Craig was a good communicator. He related to the audience really well. He knew the music really well, and he was part of the community. Even though he didn't live here, he was still very much a part of the community because he was seen in the community, always supported our local advertisers. So I think that was a big part of it. And, you know, being on the air in this market from day one, you become a household name.
The reason why Craig should be in the VAB Hall of Fame is it's about radio broadcasting, and not just on air, but the entire radio package which he brings. As I mentioned, he is a radio guy. He does it all, really, and he does it, not just does it all, but he does it all so well.
He's got a 50-year career in radio. That's all he's done his whole life, and he's done it well. He's consistent. He's gifted. He was a good broadcaster. He made everyone comfortable. He always encouraged the community to reach out to us to help spread their word.
I mean, the fact that he helped grow the communities that he was in and worked in is a very special thing, and we're lucky to have Craig, and we were lucky to have him for so many years at this radio station.
There are a lot of great people out there, and we have a great team at WLVB and have for 30 years. He just had a knack for making good choices and keeping us straight. Squire said it best. I mean, radio is on the air for the public good, and we take it seriously, and Craig Ladd really takes it seriously. And just an honor to have been working with him for all these years.